Share out the show.
There, I'm starting to stream now. We're live. The mic is live. Everything is live. I'm sharing links. Okay, so everyone can hear us right now arguing. It's all on the internet right now. There's the link to the actual channel. Are we live? Is the question. Are we live? Where are we? We're live,
Yes,
people.
we are.
Channel. There we go. I heard myself. We are definitely live. Let's just switch scenes so everyone can see that we are live. Hello. Welcome back. How is everyone?
I am not too bad at all. In the middle of
I'm pretty
typing.
good.
We're all waking up. We're kind of a little bit late, aren't we, lads? We got caught in conversations.
Talking about things.
Talking,
Life
it was,
things.
yeah, like such. You know, like people are not well. I came back from Sweden, had a nearly breakdown coming off the planes.
Oh yeah,
Was,
you nearly didn't get home, like.
Yeah, that was awful. It was. So Eunice, sure you know Eunice, right? Dudley, then Frank, right? Franklin, right? So what happened was I was in Sweden. We started getting emails. I started getting emails. We, as in everyone else, I suppose, started getting emails about disruptions. Hadn't a clue what the crack was, and it was a weird thing about like checking in because of the coronavirus checking, all that stuff, right? Trying to get through to someone wasn't happening 20 something hours beforehand. WhatsApp, whatever the hell it was. Didn't matter what way I tried. Pigeon didn't work, right? Then eventually I got there early because I was like, I better get ahead of this just in case there is disruptions or whatever. And the thought of having one last pair of underwear was actually murdering me inside. So anyway, it turns out like nearly all the flights around Amsterdam were cancelled. So I was just eyeing up my flight to see that return flight, which I was supposed to be on back to Amsterdam, was going to take off. And I was watching in the airport as one delay turned into cancel to a few like planes going into the night, and then it was like delayed, and then delayed even later. I didn't get home until before 2 o'clock a.m. Yeah, because of Eunice. I didn't care. I was 2 glasses of wine deep. I had a friend. I made friends with someone. They approached me instead of me being typically Irish, as we are. She approached me, and I made fast friends with a girl, and we follow each other on Instagram now. So all in all, great and great stories, great shared experience as well. It was nice to sit down with someone who had a completely different background to me, but in a lot of similar ways. It was quite great. A lot of women shared a lot of women's stories, which I want to share here because you wouldn't understand. Anyway, but that's me. I'm home now, but I had a great time. My little one turned 10. She got spoilt. Yeah. I nearly turned into one of those shouting mammies. You know the ones at GA matches, in case anyone's a foreigner. That's a lovely, wonderful sport that we cherish with our lives, literally. We go war for it. So she's playing something called bandy, which is like floor hockey, if you will, in some Nordic way, I guess. She started taking that up, and I bought her all her stuff, and I was convinced she was left-handed. Mammy knows. She knows the sport. She knows I did camogie for years. Mammy knows. But anyway, turns out my small one was left-handed, but she went for the ball, right? You could tell she was Irish through and through. She went for it. But I ended up nearly standing up in the bleachers, giving a good shout. I was like, what? And then one parent was like, and I was like, foreign, sorry, passionate about my child. We'll kill everyone in this room to protect her. Usual, sorry. I was like, every minute. Her dad was like trying to keep calm because Swedish people are quite they're quite relaxed, calm, very focused people. So to see like this red-headed woman having like spasms in the corner over her child doing so well, I bet it was interesting. But I enjoyed it. Everyone had fun, and that's the bottom line. But how are you guys? I missed you the last 2 weeks. There's been so much.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I have no real complaints, except that I'm not playing Destiny at the moment, which I wish I was. But
Why?
This is also good. new expansion just came out. I was deep into it all day earlier on. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Well,
So
I'm a Destiny player too. So.
and you haven't? Oh yeah, you were saying earlier about your laptop situations.
Yeah, because of the esports deal that I did. I used to play Destiny all the time on PS4.
Right.
But but I've left that with my partner, who does a lot of the tournaments. Sometimes he does them when I'm not there.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just play it on PC. It's grand. I have this awesome gaming laptop that I've been using for years, but not a single problem ever from this amazing laptop.
Father,
And
kill me.
then I accidentally updated to Windows 11, and it's a different story now. it's suddenly feeling 5 years old and you can barely run it. Like
I had the same situation. Said it to you earlier. I can't render stuff to save my life. It's almost like crawling to me and go like, kill me, kill me.
yeah, it
And
sounds like it's an airplane taking off.
Yeah.
Do anything on it, like it's just.
People are looking at your laptop and say MSI. It's like, no, it's Rolls Royce. Sorry. You know,
I just can I interject? Is that 4 360s on the ground?
that is not 4. That is that is 5. 5.
Bye.
I had to double check. I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you look behind me, let me just
Stuff.
yeah. I'm a hoarder. The best
You repair
kind.
them and the likes as well, don't you?
I do. I got that bundle. I got a bundle of 13 consoles, about 5 Xbox 360s, all different generations. 6 actually. There's another one in there because it's the latest addition to the E model, if you will. Excuse me.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I got those. I got 4 fat PlayStation 3s, a super slim and a slim, and they were all marked as defective. They sold them as a bundle for €100, and I said, "Fuck it, I'll give it a go." Like, turns out the PlayStation 4. I put a video up if anyone wants to see it on my social media. Had an impressive dent in it, which I couldn't understand because the plastic wasn't cracked at all. So it looked like some scorned lover, and I'm going to assume that for the sake of comedy. Took this thing apart delicately, went boom right on top of it. The fan wasn't working. Obviously, it wasn't like it was a surprise when we opened up. And I was like, "Who the fuck?" It was interesting. The video's up there, but out of just sheer like curiosity, I checked everything. The fan works fine. Considering the dent, I managed to get everything back into the way it was. Board obviously is gone, so not much to salvage there, but the drive is salvageable and the shell is salvageable, so I could easily get a few bob out of that. And just to throw in an extra story, we won't be here all day, this is a modded 360. Apparently can't play discs, which is no problem, cool. But it's modded.
Yeah. You can
That-
just throw a big old.
Yeah, someone spent time with this, and the person in that place was like, "I have no idea what this is." I was like, "I'll take it." But yeah, all in all, it was very good run. We got 2 backwards compatible PlayStation 3s, which I've repaired one, and I have to still test. So I still have to test it. It's still going to work with a PlayStation 2 game, which is awesome. And the other PlayStation, 2 other PlayStation 3s is slim, and the super slim work fine. They couldn't read this. They read this now. Works fine. I think I just need to clean it up and find a new homes at this point. Yeah. So if you're looking for a PlayStation 3, yeah.
Just go to old game shops and look for old consoles with bundles like that.
Oh yeah, like that's why I go off the thrift stores. You've probably seen it on Twitter or whatever. So I go off to the little thrift stores and I'll look for something that people are usually looking for anyway, you know, or something that might be coming up that might be an anniversary. Like for example, it's like 30-year anniversary came and went over the pandemic. I managed to grab myself a limited edition cassette tape and the box set holds the vinyls for Turtles the movie, the first one. So I was like, got that for like a tenner. And I was like, that's cool, that's pretty nostalgia. I'll either keep it or if someone really loves it, I'll just move it on to the next lover. Also, today I found, it's not game related, but as a gamer who travels, I managed to get myself a suitcase. Obviously, I need suitcases. I travel an awful lot, as you know, lads, right? But look how small this is, right? And I was like, is this a suitcase? I was looking at it, I was like, it looks like a suitcase. Maybe it's a vanity case. I opened it up. How much is it?
Size?
It's smaller than probably 15 inches smaller than that. But
We're just wondering.
if we have to use a Nintendo Switch for
Okay.
comparison, but thickness is
Fit a lot of good. Fit a lot of good.
It's
You got a
good.
bit in there. Like.
yeah, like you know someone who
Probably
does.
wouldn't. You probably wouldn't fit an original PS2, but you probably fit in an original the Slim 360.
Oh hell yeah! Like you'd be able to put anything in there. But the real story is I got it for $150. The girl knows how to shop. But yeah, there's like small kind of things like that. But like yeah, gaming, anything that's related to gaming. If I find something good out of it, or I look online, I see if anyone's wanting it, or if I'm searching for it, you know, stuff like that. So It's yeah, I've had fun so far. So the other job is to get those 360 sorted, and then we'll see what happens. Or might sell them just parts. I even have broken switches there that I've looked at repairing and taking the parts out to sell.
I've noticed
There you go.
that's a large niche on YouTube is people buying like 20 switches and seeing how many they can fix.
Yeah.
It's not a bad
Especially
idea.
Switches, right? Because Nintendo go out of their way to make it hard. Like, they're very like Apple in the whole "we hate the right to repair" thing. So repairing Switches is a noble.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a noble thing.
But unlike Apple, they make things to last.
Yeah.
True.
But like Nintendo DSs are pretty easy to repair considering like hinges are the easiest thing to break. And maybe the little kind of pad in the front, but that's just replacing the plastic, the little kind of touch sensor for. So they're like easy stuff like that, and you buy them for like a $5 because you get them in like some broken ass shop, and they'll sell a bulk of them for $20. And you're like, cool, I'll make like $20 a pop after this with repairs. And repairs like,
Anyone watching that wants to hack a 3DS, I did that this week.
did you?
Yeah, I hacked my 3DS. The 3DS store is closing next year, so if you ever intend to hack your 3DS, buy
What, like-
Pokemon Picross, because there's an exploit through that game. It's the easiest way to hack the console.
Interesting.
I think it's Pokemon Picross.
I'm not
Picross
mad for
game.
hacking though myself. If I find something that's modded, then that's like either by chance. Like I bought Nintendo Wii boxed from one of the thrift stores for like $30, like the full package with the sports and everything. Still, everything that I want boxed because I want to get boxed things. I did to test it. Already homebrewed on it. I was like, it's a soft mod, so I can delete it or whatever. That's fine. But like, I just couldn't get over. Like, even out of curiosity, I had another Wii up there. I was like, I bought this ages ago for like a tenner off someone. Never tested it. Didn't have the cables. I was like, oh, I'll have a look at it. Also homebrewed. It was like, this is crazy. Everyone's just like homebrewing their shit left, right, and center.
Switches and DS's got homebrewed constantly, so they're so easy. Or not Switches,
Yeah.
Wii's. The thing about Wii is, you know, the way you hack a Wii is through the level editor in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and everybody had Brawl, so it was really easy to do.
That's mad.
The
Anyway,
level editor was the first game where you could write something to the memory, and that allowed you to hack a Wii.
but we're not
I
here.
love
We're
love
not here to
hacking
hack
and
though.
stuff.
We're
I
not
love
here to
doing that.
hack. The only thing we're gonna hack is figuring out what the hell's going on with Doctor Strange. But before we fall down into that hole, where are we going, Ado?
Peacemaker finished.
Peacemaker finished, y'all. How did we feel? I was emotional at the end of it. Himself had to get me a tissue. I didn't give a shit. I cared. I cared more about Vigilante safety than anything else. And he was like, he's gonna be fine. I was like, is he?
Yeah, I was really worried when he fell over.
I know. I'm happy that he fell over while he was in the hospital. Clearly, you know, like that's.
Yeah.
We don't want anything to happen to our man. But my.
I was really worried something was going to happen to Eagly. Because, you know, it's how you show someone's evil, they hurt an animal.
Yeah.
But he flew
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay. So, you know what? Not even spoilers alert or anything like that. Everybody's had more than 10 days at this point. Okay, I think we've been fair. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
none of this. Right? I don't want to hear it.
We have a. If it's been over 6 days, we will spoil it.
That's it. Like we need to put it. We're gonna put it in a disclaimer. If it's after 6 days, we'll definitely talk about it. Okay, definitely. We'll try our best. But my God. Okay, so let's talk about the finale a fair bit.
So,
Okay,
I
go.
want to start with something first. Did any of you think that the cow thing was kind of wild cute, and I felt really sad for it?
Yes.
I think that was the intention.
Did you ever see Monsters vs. Aliens?
Yes, yes.
Doesn't it
And
look like the...
it looks like
giant,
the butterfly kind of.
monster from that?
Yeah, it kind of looks like that kind of dopiness. Yeah, definitely.
It did have a dopiness to it.
Had
and I
a
felt
certain
really bad for it.
had certain dopiness to it. They're like, oh, it hasn't a clue. It's just milking.
Activate human work torpedo. Oh.
Activate human torpedo. Oh, it has guts. That's so strange. I thought it was all full of goo.
It was awful. It was a horrible way to die.
Oh, but like I thought it was a very interesting climax because it really like it. I know like a lot of us often watch shows and we're always waiting for this hopeful ending or hopeful kind of like tie up, but it felt like when it was hitting towards the end, I was at a point where it's like we're not getting this, are we? I was like, why is that? Like, why does it feel like we're not gonna get like? Because you see like Hargo going down. You see the economist losing his fucking shit. Like, it just felt like I was like, oh my god, we're not gonna make it. And it actually felt like that feeling. Hated it.
There's... You go on.
We're going.
Podcasting!
No. No, you first.
Everyone just crashed out on me there, so...
Yeah,
I'm still here.
I'm still here. I see you.
Okay.
I breed you.
Let you start, Brian.
Okay, I'll start. One thing I really loved in it was, you know, the bit where they're doing the whole hero walk and the theme tune starts playing.
Yeah.
And I was half expecting to see Optimus Prime flying through the air, shooting all the Decepticons, because that's what happens when 80s theme tunes play, you know. But they subvert it, and they're like, no, they're all dying. They're all dying.
Yeah,
They're
I know.
all getting shot repeatedly.
This is a suicide mission.
And even like when Vigilante got shot in the back, and as he fell, he was like, oh no, it was a knife or whatever. He took it out and he just flung it backwards, and it was just so elegant. He's like, wow.
It was incredibly. It was like the most nonchalant, accurate throw I've ever seen.
It was beautiful.
He's a great character from a useless... Like, James Gunn is so good at taking a character that no one cares about at all.
And just amps them. Just makes them louder in that more kind of, I tolerate, accept you in a funny way. You're not you're that acceptable, annoying, and I like it.
Well, with the same, like, people forgetting, no one... right, the rebooted Guardians that Guardians of the Galaxy based on, they were popular. But they were like... C to D list, you know,
at
like
best.
They weren't. Yeah, at best, yeah. And suddenly everyone cares about them. And Peacemaker was just like that. Like, you really care about every one of those characters by the time that's done. Like,
yeah, even
so
down
good.
to Waller's daughter, like the one person that you don't want anyone's fucking life to succeed is Amanda Waller, right? And you have her daughter in this situation where she's just like, it's her and her wife, their dogs, you know, very fucking simple for family. You know, she's like, just get through it. She's accepting of the whole situation about the mother. Like, it was really, really put together because it just gave us a more perspective of someone who's truly outside of it, that's just trying to be human and just trying to have a family and just be normal. You know what I mean? And getting pulled into this. So I really appreciate that.
In a weird way, Suicide Squad and Peacemaker are him doing Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, but for the DC universe.
Yeah.
Because see these characters and he brings them together with humor and humility and music and comedy and makes an incredibly entertaining movie. And then the second one's the parent issue one.
It's yeah, like
yeah.
In a way, because like Guardians 2 and Peacemaker both have like daddy and mommy issues right there in the middle of it.
Yeah, like, but who doesn't at this stage? You know what I mean? Like, you know.
I do feel like this movie and show does put me in the feeling if I did after watching the first Guardians of the Galaxy, where like this is something that I didn't see this universe doing, and I like that it opens up this avenue. I really hope that DC learns to take itself less seriously because of James Gunn.
Yeah.
Which brings up something actually that I wanted to talk about it, right?
Don't do this to me now. I knew it. I knew you're leaving me. Sorry.
I'm going to use the S word.
Shit.
So,
Is it?
the
Sorry. Go on.
Snyder.
Oh,
the
hold on.
after,
Sorry about that, kids. Go on.
the day after the finale, Snyder
Yes.
bots were going insane because James Gunn had the temerity to make a joke about one of the characters that Snyder developed. The whole fish fucker thing.
So good.
Oh yeah.
It was such a good joke that started and tied itself off nicely in a nice bow. Like, he started out from the hospital bed. That's what. Yeah. Do you think that guy on Twitter would lie to me? I was like, yes, he would. And he's such an innocent. His character is such an innocent when it comes to the internet. Like, he just takes everything at fucking face value because it's real to him.
But the real life Snyder guys don't seem to realize that James Gunn is taking the piss out of them.
Yeah.
Because Peacemaker is literally one of them. Like, he's just there. Like, well, what did he say about Green Arrow? That he was a brony. who went who went to conventions as the back end of Twilight Sparkle with a hole. Sorry, I know.
It was, and you know what? He said it was such conviction, which is what was made it so like. And he was like, "Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, yeah."
Yeah,
Kind of
absolutely.
like,
yes.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That one's the truth. He's wrong
yeah,
with everything else, but
that one's the truth. Yeah.
A mark that maybe DC have learned to take themselves less seriously. Having Jason Momoa at the end, letting them make that joke about him while he was there.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Barry.
And I'm like,
Fuck you, Barry.
yeah. That was amazing.
It was fucking amazing, and it was just it was
more dehumanize the Justice League
yeah.
in 5 seconds than Snyder managed to do in 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, it was so mad. I just that it was just it. Yeah, obviously, like towards the end, in case anyone hasn't seen it, I don't really care about spoilers or whatever the hell, right? So at the end of the show, everything is completely lost. People are getting carried out. You know, people are dying. Vigilante just about made it. Maybe we don't know. And then all of a sudden, you see the silhouette of four. Just four, mind you. I read somewhere it was supposed to have the full six. You know, with Cyborg and Batman in it, because the one actor put up a picture on Twitter or something or Instagram of him supposed to be in it as a silhouette, and there's actually a video. But anyway, four of the lads come down. Well, Superman's still up in the sky, but whatever. Wonder Woman, feckin' Barry.
Not Gal Gadot, though, she wasn't there.
Barry and Arthur. And Baz and Art. Baz and Art. And they have a little bit of banter, which apparently is fact. So yeah,
Oh, it was good.
he's a fish hooker apparently.
Yeah.
Damn, and I'm thinking of the Kanye West episode in South Park.
That,
Crazy.
That
Because
just
he's like,
reminds me, doesn't it?
because he's in the suit, because he's Aquaman. Kanye West. Anyway, go on.
There's an Aquaman comic I read once, and it was just him in a diner, and the waitress was over, like, fish and chips, please. And she just looks at him. What? He's like, you can't talk to COD. They've no actual intelligence. Just give me fish and chips. It's so funny.
So silly.
I mean, you know, jokes with Aquaman. They've been, as long as I've been alive.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
every Family Guy moment that they can get when it comes to Aquaman has been amazing.
Yeah, and what I love about DC is DC have been combating the jokes about Aquaman by making Aquaman constantly stronger for 20 years.
Yeah,
To the
in the
point
comics,
where
he's like the most hardcore character
He's,
going.
yeah, he's so powerful and strong, and that's almost a direct response to the jokes about Aquaman, as they've made him the most badass character in the comics that you can be.
How come Namor never gets that?
Because he's so much worse.
We haven't really touched anything with Namor. I think
Namor and his tiny little speedos.
yeah, oh, and his little fin,
Atlantis.
his little fins on his, yeah, but I have tiny wings on my boots.
What makes Aquaman more famous?
I also do think a lot of it is the fact that Namor's most famous fights are going toe to toe with the Hulk.
Yeah,
And I think that kind of counteracts a lot of that.
yeah, but we don't know yet, do we? As someone who's a moviegoer and a TV show, or
Some of those Defenders comics, oh, they're great.
we have to figure
He
that
is,
out.
there's a very strong rumor he's going to be in the next Wakanda film.
Yeah, that's still like I think they already cast someone for it, or maybe
Yeah,
I'm just
act-
talking bollocks.
Actually, there's a very good chance he's going to show due to something else that we're going to talk about later in this
Yeah,
episode.
we are.
Yeah,
That's
put a little seed. You have to keep watching.
yeah.
I'm fucking ready.
Burying the lead.
So, I think Peacemaker is
Anyway, how many
maybe the
patties?
best DC thing that exists.
Yes, and I agree with that. It's probably the hands down most badass thing that's come out of DC in a while.
It might be the best DC thing.
Except for
made
Dr.
since
Freeze,
Superman 2. Not
Uh,
counting animated movies.
Are we talking about Superman 2 from like the 70s?
Yeah.
80s?
Oh, wait, I did forget about that. I did forget.
You can't be forgetting about the Reeves, man.
That's what I was talking about. I was talking.
Oh.
I forgot about Batman.
Oh, Batman as well. Yes, of course.
I do really like Batman Begins.
Who doesn't? It's
I
quite.
put Batman Returns above it. I have a real soft spot for that film. Danny DeVito as the Joker. As a Joker, as the
Oh,
Penguin.
No, it's such a gross movie.
Yeah.
it's a great movie.
Love that
Yeah,
film so much.
I'll never forget that as a child, watching him go up into the sewer and all the shit coming out of his mouth, and I was like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
my
How did they
man.
get away with selling toys in that film? I'll never understand.
Yeah, like how did he get away with
Kids
that being
should
like
not-
shown to kids? I was
Ugh.
there. I know,
I remember
Mio.
there being, I don't know, I think you're of roughly a similar vintage to me. Do you remember there being like
It's a lie.
pop-up a pop-up Batman shop in the St. Stephen's Green Centre? Like a shop of just Batman just appeared.
Yeah, and there was like a mannequin with the full, like, it was the Michael Keaton stand on it. Yeah.
It was around the time of the first film, the
Yes, my big
Like
sister
the-
told me. Yes. Yes, yes.
yeah, but that was like unlike anything I'd ever
Yeah.
as a small kid.
Yeah, it
like,
was just
this
a
shop,
random.
Batman.
Yeah, just a random Batman shop just showing up out of Stephen's Green, and it was where was the place? It was on the second floor, if I remember it right, and it was towards the left side. If you're coming in, obviously from the front, I think it was more to the left side or to the right side. But I was fairly young. I was getting pushed around in prams, you see, you know,
All right, yeah, you're. a
Couldn't
little younger
remember.
because I
sucking
walked
an
by and
old
went to
bottle of milk, you know, maybe tea.
It still kind of shocks me when people talk about how big that film was.
It was huge. Like it was like it box office. I remember it was like big deal for fucking people talking about it over in Ireland when it first came out, and it was always late in the game when anything was released in Ireland, right? So it'd be out in America for the year, and then by pigeon or hopefully by fucking old boat rowing possibly, we'll hear from the man in the village. He'd run in and he'd be like, "Listen, DeVito's in it, DeVito," and that's how we figured out cinema. And thank God for streaming. Like that's only takes up a little bit of the dial up, sure.
Not much has changed, really.
Not much has changed. Still the same small fishing village, you know, out in Ballyfermot, you know. Great.
The only experience I've had since that time going to see like really big films like Batman was when I went to see Endgame on launch night, and the entire cinema was filled with people.
Yeah, and
That
it was
the only
shaking.
time. Yeah,
Shit,
Yeah.
like even here in the Netherlands right now, they can be a little bit chatty or whatever, and we have our pausing. But this didn't have a pause. I strictly I was like, wait, there's no pause. It's like, and I remember holding in my Wii. And and I knew I wasn't the only person in the room because we don't pee in our seats. I've heard some mad stories, which is anyway. But I sat there, and the moment it started to go down with Cap and everything else, you could just feel the fucking atmosphere change. And I was like, my bladder's not gonna make it. Looking around on the ground, I was like, where should I go? Because I'm not the only one. And then yeah, just the vibration in the room. People, I never heard people shout before until that and you know, airplanes, I suppose.
but like in the original Batman film, I can remember queuing on the street outside the Savoy.
Oh yeah,
Up the
there, I'm
street,
nearly
up
sure
like,
there's
towards Cleary's, like.
There's probably pictures of it, if anything. I remember, like, I'm looking up on the El Google just to see. But I remember my big movie was Jurassic Park when it first came out. I remember vividly. And the only reason why I remember so vividly because I wanted them to be real. I was like, they got to be real. Dinosaurs are real. And to this day, everyone takes a piss out of me by sending me messages, even in text, BDD on my birthday. So it's great, you know? But that was something I would never forget going to see. Me dad was like very sure all the family had to go and see this. This happened to me mad because you want the peace because you know yourself, you have too many kids in the house. Catholic family. But my dad brought us all over and we went to the one in Tala. And I remember vividly because they had like a wheelchair access where it was just kind of like moving up, and I felt like I was going to see like a big deal movie because everyone was going to see it and the place was packed. And just the sheer like terror of people when that dinosaur came in. I was 6 or something when I seen it. I'll never forget it though. Like the most impactful thing of my entire life, and I still remember it vividly to this day. You know, being like, you know, not a day over 17 and all, you know. Shut up your face.
This
But anyway,
this Peacemaker talk got really Jurassic Park.
it got very.
Stay on topic. Today.
It got very emotional very quickly. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah,
This is what happens to me
people are
funny
getting
routine.
It really,
But-
like,
Yeah.
I also love that, you know, Adebayo, is that what it?
Adebayo.
Yeah, I love that. They kept on saying, "Yeah, you've got a lot of skills," and they were kind of implying it was like stealth skills. And then in the last episode, she just goes nuts and starts killing.
Yeah, like that's what I was saying to himself as well. It's like amazing. Like everyone keeps saying, like this is what you're built to do. This is what you're built to do. And I was like, she seems fucking useless because obviously she's holding her skill, if you will. But you see this girl going in, and she's just like the fucking Red Dead Redemption, the shit. You know what I mean? Dark eye, bang, 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 bang. She made Peacemaker look like a fucking Egypt. Like
It was a good use of Chekhov's gun.
it was good. It was very good. But okay,
Very good.
let's round it off. How many patties would you give it?
I'm going to give it one torpedo helmet out of one torpedo helmet.
Nice, Brian.
Yeah, definitely 10 dead Nazi parents out of 10. 10 dead Nazi parents. It was brilliant.
He's
I
such
agree.
a good
Start to finish.
Nazi. Like genuinely, he's such a hateful dick.
Oh
He-
yeah, I was so glad when he got killed.
Oh my god, when he got killed, he got shot right in the fucking in between the eyes. And it was just kind of like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit for listening to you. And it was like, pop. And I stood up. No, I'm quite emotional, obviously, when I watch my shows. I should really record
imagine.
my reactions. I really do. I should sit down and record my actions. I fucking jumped and I was like, I can't believe it. And then someone was like, sit down. I'm like, ah! It was amazing. I was like, just feeling the situation. I was like,
What a career Robert Patrick's had.
fucking yeah, man. Hell
Best
yeah.
villain ever.
He's
Best
very
villain.
Good. Like,
Yeah.
And like,
Best fucking, like, what's it called? Oh, you know, business in the front, party in the back.
Mullet, like,
yeah.
See that fucking mullet though in the 80s? That like fro?
all the 80s mullet he had was brilliant.
It almost looked almost like a shark fin, like as if someone said feck it with the mohawk and made it thick. It was like, wow. Looked like
thing
a.
about him is he plays different types of villains incredibly well.
Oh yeah, like he
Because,
gets
like-
really like
Yeah, because he's also
dark.
I still think the T-1000 might be the greatest boogeyman of all time.
Oh yeah. Nothing scarier than.
Yeah, and then he was the asshole father in Walk Hard.
Mm.
Was-
What else?
No, he was the dad in Walk the Line. The other, it was a different actor that was the asshole dad in Walk Hard.
I think it was in like CSI or Law and Order playing like some detective. Even when he plays that, when he's doing like detective work, you're like, fuck man, I'm scared of him. Like I don't even have
How could he
anything on
ever-
me. And
How
I'll
could he ever be a
plead.
good guy?
Yeah. It's weird. But yeah, no,
Bring his Terminator back as a good guy, like.
that's it. I would give Peacemaker 10 out of 10. For sure. I didn't feel there was one bit wrong with it at all. Like some parts were like, oh, but it made sense. I had to see the whole thing for what it is. And I like everyone to do the same. I would watch strips of that and be like, this isn't for me. Unlike people I know, when I ask them to watch something that I want them to watch, but they're like, oh, watch it next week, and I didn't want to watch the rest of that because of shite. Looking at you guys, that's what I'm giving out about. Anyway, 10 out of 10.
I've watched the first episode of Doom Patrol.
I don't want to hear it. What's the next topic, Brian? Feck's sake.
The next topic is related to Peacemaker, because Peacemaker likes to do constant references to the history of comic books, and that's why there was a massive gorilla in it.
Oh my! Oh yeah! And everybody went mad nostalgia went Harambe. I was like, calm down. I was like, we're all in our 30s or so. Come on now.
Yeah, Harambe. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, well,
It's been 10 years, isn't it?
Yes, is it?
Is it 10 years?
10 years.
Oh, I gotta Google that. So in the comments below, let me know, cause knowledge is power.
Harambe is not the first gorilla I think of when I think of gorillas.
No.
Harambe's meme? No, that's not what we want. Death. 2016.
It is a
No,
meme.
so it's like
Oh.
4 years. So 6 years now. Feels like
Wait.
10.
Yeah.
COVID.
Remember reading people in that zoo were just like so tired of hearing about that.
Oh my
It
god.
was such a
I went to like conventions where the quizzes were like including slides of this thing, and everyone's like, nah. I was like, I just want to have me drink and shout at someone for the wrong answer. That's all. Like, just keep it simple.
I'd imagine when I worked in the shop, the one joke you got every time was when you said this shit. When the price was 19, someone was like, "Oh, that was a good year."
It's a good year.
And that joke got so old, and I imagine that would be something similar to the Harambe situation.
Oh my god, yes.
Or even just with my name, when someone goes, "You're not the Messiah, you're a naughty boy." Wow, never heard that one before.
Really?
Yeah, constantly.
I've never heard that before.
There's too many Brians in the world to do that.
Some people go out of their way. They do.
Oh,
That's
I'm like,
mad.
Yeah.
That would annoy them. Shit out of me.
Then again,
Like, do you legit think I've never heard that before?
Yeah.
Seriously. People do behave like they've just come up with this, like, amazing joke.
I know, yeah. Like it's amazing, especially when people go like, "Haha, you could say you're furious." I'm like, die in a fire.
No, don't.
No, I don't mean to die in a fire. No, I'm only saying that out jokes. But like seriously, like it's so
Die in a
like
fire,
it's like I never heard that. But the best one I heard was Furioso, which I kept. I was like, I like Furioso.
Yeah.
She's badass. I'll keep that. I keep that. That's cool. But the other thing, you can eat my toe.
That's
So.
a good film.
Mad Max.
It is. Great film.
It's a great movie.
That's a good film. I really like that Mad Max
Yeah.
movie.
It is. But anyway, let's talk about the Peacemaker part. So how is the gorilla involved?
Okay, so gorillas and comics. Gorillas in comics.
Gorillas
One
in
of the
comics.
weirdest traditions in comics is the continued success of one particular animal, the gorilla.
Always.
No accident one shows up in Peacemaker, which is itself a tribute to all things trashy in comics. They're all tied together. So, the fascination with comic books and gorillas predates superheroes. This is how far back it goes.
Right.
So, like, comics before superheroes. So, you're talking 20s and 30s. The very first boom for comic books coincided with the release of King Kong and Mighty Joe Young. Right.
Is Mighty Joe Young that old?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's almost as
it'd
old
be-
as King Kong, like.
Like it's 100 years now at this point, right?
Yeah.
No, I generally thought that Mighty Joe Young movie was like an original idea at the time.
No.
idea.
Yeah, it was a knockoff of King Kong, if memory serves.
And it's
In
not.
the cinema, they were like, gorillas sell. Need more gorillas.
Yeah.
That long comics,
That's
like,
successful.
Woman get gorilla, woman, yeah.
yeah, that's apparently that sells. Like that's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
So we're talking about comic strips rather than comic books at the times.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of the comic strips were based on like imperialist jungle explorers.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The Great White Pope goes into the jungle and civilizes the natives, and obviously, and things like that. So Tarzan is the most obvious one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they all have a noble gorilla of some sort in there, of some sort. One of which I'll mention now because of Chekhov's gun, is called Congo Bill. So we'll be talking about Congo Bill later. And that was in Congo Bill first appeared in 1940s. That's just one example of one.
Right.
So, interestingly, Tink might be interested in this fact.
Go
One
on.
of the very first gorillas in comic books is still around to this day, and you would never know they have anything to do with gorillas. Giganta from the Doom Patrol actually debuted in 1944 as a villain in Wonder Woman.
No way.
Yeah. She was mutated from a great ape to a super strong round-haired woman. The size changing didn't appear until she was in the Super Friends, like.
Oh my god, that's
70 years later.
mad.
I love doing this research because you get stupid crap like this.
Yeah, but it's
That's
also,
real.
yeah, but if you watch the show, right? Unlike
I
Ado.
will watch the shit.
Yeah, and you.
I'll watch.
Yeah. Do you make?
First episode.
Because
Yeah, I need to
then we
actually
could
do
laugh
that.
together, and now you'd be like, oh wait, these shit is all tied together, and one day you'll be knocking on my door for freaking lore. One day. Alright, go on.
Right. So, as a small aside in this, in the 1960s, Giganta's origin was revamped so that she became a gorilla that was hypnotized to fall in love with Steve Trevor. You know, Wonder Woman's.
Fella, yeah.
Yeah. So she was a gorilla who was in love with Steve Trevor. She was hypnotized by what's the guy from the Harley Quinn, the villain, the Doctor.
Oh, Doctor, No, it's not Dr. White. I was going to say Dr. White for some reason.
This is annoying me.
Google it. Google it. Dr. What's his face?
Yeah. Harley Quinn. Dr. Psycho. Dr. Psycho. So it was Dr. Psycho.
Where'd I get Dr. White from?
Who made Giganta fall in love with Steve Trevor. And then, by coincidence, another mad scientist came along and went, I'm going to turn that gorilla into a human. And because the DC universe is just so full of mad scientists.
Because as you
another one
do.
came along and turned this gorilla into a woman who then also fell in love with Steve Trevor. But Wonder Woman, at this point, because comics had moved on a bit, Wonder Woman was compassionate about this poor giant ape woman and took her away to Mescria, where she could be looked after and trained. So that's a real thing that they did. Things exploded for Great Apes in 1951. When
Why?
there was a breakout. 1951. When there was a breakout hit issue of the comic Strange Adventures, and in the images that are rotating now, I have this. This is kind of the
Right.
first major
yeah.
appearance of a gorilla, right? Number 8 featured the tale, the incredible story of an ape with a human brain.
Is this the Great Intelligence?
Right? This was like one of the biggest comics of all time, for some reason. There was
But
an
how
ape
could
on
I
the cover.
have a human brain? They can't
So
be people.
Yeah,
So for
So-
some reason, just Gorilla comics sell incredibly well.
yeah.
Is this? Was it mostly sold in like the US though? Like I feel like culture would be a very I don't think people go crazy over in the UK for like a gorilla having a brain. It's like, oh no.
It was, if I recall, at the time, most comics were sold on like spinner racks
Right.
in the US.
In the
spinner
US.
racks used to-
Yeah. Newsstands and
but,
such. Yeah.
They'd have like subsidiaries that would reprint
Yeah.
in the UK and wherever.
Because
else.
probably
So I
it's
don't think.
I'm just wondering, like, for the marketing side of it as well, right? Because it did really well in the US because they have a lot of, like, King Kong, for example. How many times was it revamped by 1951? Like, so.
Yeah, a few times already.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. But like, I don't think they would have cared how things sold outside of America. It was nice if it sold, but like comics were so big that they probably didn't give a crap. Like they were just like, yeah, that gorilla cover sold 8 million copies, whatever. Just do it
Jesus
all the time.
Christ. Anyway, go on. But I'm just trying to understand the mindset of 1951 after the war. Like, why was this, like, the shit, you know?
This has been going on since King Kong. Like, it just didn't stop. Anyway, it sold so well that every editor wanted apes on the covers of their comics. It was almost unimportant what happened in the comic. If an ape was on the cover, comic would sell, right?
What?
So, yeah, it actually got to the point that it became a problem, and the higher-ups in DC had to send a memo restricting the amounts of gorillas on covers to 1 a month.
Could you imagine how that conversation would have went? Just hear it out. Like, could you imagine? Like, they're all sitting around. They're all sitting there around what they're supposed to like James Jones kind of shit.
See here.
See here, see. You know, like, Toots, run this. Yes, yes, Mr. Jones. Like, it's like, could you imagine? Like, it's getting out of hand.
Lads.
Like, he goes, well, we got this idea. It's about a woman who becomes a detective and gets saved by a man because she's in trouble. And here's the cover. What has the ape got to do with it?
Snape.
Well, it's all the business, see?
A human brain.
Run it. You know what I mean? Like, you have a brain, damn it. See, she used to be an ape, but now she's a woman. But how did she transform? It's an ape on the cover. Is that not enough? 8 million copies.
Get off my back.
Get off my
I'm
back.
selling comics.
I'm selling comics, man.
So
Was that like clickbait then back in the 1950s?
It's effectively clickbait, yeah.
Scarlet for you. I thought all these people knew better. Anyway, go on.
We got so silly that Batman defeated a gorilla crime boss.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Wonder Woman played baseball with one.
Ah.
I believe I included both those covers as well in the rotation. So
Is one of these ultra humanoid?
I haven't got to the Ultra Human yet.
There's the Batman one
Okay.
coming up.
Batman defeated a gorilla crime boss before there was named gorilla characters in the DC universe.
Yeah. This is just a random gorilla
But-
crime boss.
I know this probably sounds like a rhetorical question, be it that we're in a new year and a new kind of evolution of stuff. But why the hell is fucking Wonder Woman playing baseball? Like, is there some kind of crime? And then they're like, oh, let's all work together and have a baseball game at the end of it. Like, why is she playing baseball?
This just happens.
I don't
But she,
know.
what are they afraid of her breaking a nail? Like, obviously she's diving. Oh, I see now.
like, I mean,
I see.
If
Okay.
you would have a gorilla on your baseball team if they were the hitter. I don't know what the term is. The hitter.
Batter.
This
like
is the
if-
sort of
Batter, yeah.
sort of thing that would have been in a Wonder Woman annual. These it'll be one of those special one-offs where just, oh, there's a baseball game happening.
It's a gorilla.
Yeah.
Right.
This happens a lot. It happens a lot in manga.
Clickbait.
Yes. So.
Go on.
What?
Not gorilla, but all the characters will just play baseball.
Oh yeah, play.
Oh, yeah.
The X-Men are well known for it as well.
Yeah.
They regularly have baseball games and basketball games. It's just the thing they do when they're chilling.
Yeah.
Avengers too occasionally. So
Thank God we don't see this in any episodes or TV shows.
I like it. It kind of humanizes them. Man, an episode where the Avengers play basketball and Tony Stark's there just being cheeky to everybody. That would be really funny. That'd been a really
Cheating.
good. That'd been a really
I
good,
would love to
7
see-
minute DVD clip.
I would love to see a game of slaps between, hear me out here, the Hulk and Domination. Just that would be my. That would be my go-to. No,
Hulk could totally win. You'd not
Hulk,
just get that.
Hulk smash, guys.
Yeah,
don't
Hulk
you
smash,
know?
like-
God's sake, Ado. Anyway,
so other apes of note from this period include the villain Monsieur Mala in Doom Patrol, actually making him the second ape in that series, because Giganta is also an ape.
and you wouldn't know because you didn't watch. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Who
I'll
also features
share
an-
once everyone's updated. There's a second season, by the way.
And importantly, Monsieur Mala also features an outrageous French accent whenever he is written in the comics.
Is this your French accent?
It's my outrageous French accent.
If anyone is out there that is French and would like to critique, please so in the comments below. Just try to
Yeah,
avoid
Names in French,
Or-
my
Avoid-
French accent is at least a
avoid
little
the
better.
dislike. Don't go instant dislike. Just go right in the comments and really spend the time to tell Brian how you feel.
Or
Yeah.
cry more.
Cry more. What?
It's probably insulting to the French.
Oh.
Or crime. All right. Yeah. So.
Moving on.
Animal Man fought a gorilla crime boss who was not the same gorilla crime boss that Batman fought. There's multiple gorilla crime bosses in the DC.
Like how, what was he peddling? Bananas? Like, what the like, I don't understand how, like, what was the
Well,
crime boss of? Like, please, Brian, was
Gorillas
it
can
like,
sell drugs?
Of crime.
of like,
Drugs
what,
and stuff, like.
like what? Like, speakers
seen a
out of a
gorilla on
back of a
crack,
van?
like.
No, I haven't seen a gorilla on naked crack!
Gorillas
I just,
sell drugs.
I love the way Ado's like, I think it'd be people too. Like, stop it right now. Stop it. It's madness. Run out of ideas. Run out of ideas, you see. We need more gorilla stories. What do we got?
Look, there's a city of gorillas coming up. We need to keep going.
I didn't touch too much on Gorilla Grodd.
Oh,
So,
bye.
I'll
No,
go
keep
for-
going. Keep going.
Yeah, okay.
Keep going.
Superman fought loads of them. One
Of
which
course he did.
frequently pops up till today. Titano, who's basically King Kong, but with kryptonite vision. Like, King Kong's not gonna wreck Superman. Like, so give him kryptonite vision.
Why does it have to be an ape? Or a gorilla? Why does it have to be like?
Sell the comics. Put him on the cover. It's
Why can't we have an ostrich
have to-
with like
they
death
have to have one a
powers from
month.
their eyes?
They
I would
have to
love to
have
see
a
that.
big
They're one a month. I think.
One a month.
Each have their one a month.
Fighting an ostrich.
That's super ostriches. That's an idea.
Yeah. Dramatic. the Ostrich War or the Emu War? The Emu War in Australia. Look that up. That's an incredible thing. The emus won. Right? So the
You're making
aforementioned
this
Congo
worse.
Bill
You're making it worse. Stop.
the aforementioned Congo Bill gained the power to turn into a gorilla, becoming at least the second werilla in DC Comics after Gigantic.
Wait, hold on. What was that noun?
A werilla.
Right. Okay.
It's a were-gorilla.
I feel overwhelmed with this education right now.
Yeah. Now, I don't
Unbelievable.
know if Aiden wants to talk more about Gorilla City, because it's not an area I'm an expert on. But the most famous ape to this day would be, of course, Gorilla Grodd, who wormed his way into my heart when he shouted, "Kneel before Grodd," which is one of my absolute favorite lines in comics book. Yeah, said that after kicking the shit out of Nightwing, I think. "Kneel before Grodd!" I'm like, yes. Yes. This is the content I'm here for.
Do you ever think they're gonna start implementing more gorillas or apes or whatever into the Marvel DC universe? Obviously with Peacemaker, that was a bit weird.
They don't
Grodd's been
they
in
don't
Flash,
need to.
Yeah.
The DC have two that they use quite often.
Yeah, and Grodd is one of them. So, like,
Yeah.
Grodd is from... They have a city. This isn't in my thing I wrote. They have a city where it's just full of gorillas. And Grodd is like this evil mutant psychic gorilla who is also a cannibal.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Grodd was created when Lex Luthor tried to merge human DNA and ape DNA, and he created a super intelligent gorilla with a god complex.
Gives a real Planet of the Apes feel, right? Like
Yeah.
Caesar.
So Grodd took the research that Lex Luthor was doing and started turning more gorillas intelligent. And they have a city in, I think it's South America. It's like an Aztec gorilla city called Gorilla City.
Oh God, like let's not go bad names.
So, back when The Flash was good in season 2, this was... I don't know how they afforded... to be fair, the CGI was terrible, but they actually did the Gorilla City storyline, and it's actually pretty good. The Grodd in Flash is genuinely great. If anyone ever wants to watch any of that show, I would highly recommend stopping pretty quickly after that. But that's real good.
I'll have a look at it. I'll be interested to see what is
First
this.
season specifically of The Flash is excellent. Like, excellent. And
It's
oh my
diminishing
god,
returns, isn't it? Like, it's...
by the time season 3 came around, it got woeful.
Yeah, like a lot of people talked about it really dipped in season 3 because I know I was dating someone at the time and they were like everything about the Flash, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch it just yet. I just want to see how it goes and then watch the whole thing when it's ready. But when people said season 3 is a bit crap and then it starts to pick up, I'm like, no, I don't wanna. No, I'm glad.
that was my exact experience. Season 1, I loved it. Season 2 is like, okay.
And then it just
Season 3 is they're like, yeah, I'm done. Like, no more.
you lose your audience.
They, like all CW shows, they become way more about the relationships and way less about the fact that there's superheroes in the show.
That's my brain kind of starts to turn off at that point.
Yeah.
Because the relations and stuff is just standard teenage.
Bollocks.
Yeah,
It's
will
Bollocks.
CW shows.
Yeah.
Arrow got really bad with that, like seriously bad. The season 2 of Arrow was amazing, like genuinely great. And, oh god,
I-
it's actually a chore to watch.
Even himself like says it to me as well, but I just cannot stand whenever like there's too much romance or too much of the relationship getting poured in, like a lot of, oh my god, the feelings. I feel like that some of these girls are holding these lads back, and it makes it worse that they're portrayed an awful like this as well, you know what I mean, in the stories, and I'm like, this is just so crap. Just
They become
no.
Tumblr shows. That's that's what I would describe them as.
Yeah.
Where that's why Legends of Tomorrow was so good, because there was very little of that. Legends of Tomorrow was
more
genuinely a
core
great show.
to what it was up to than
Legends
what
of
else
Tomorrow
everyone else
was,
was.
Legends of Tomorrow is Exiles, but with superheroes.
DC. Yeah.
DC superheroes, and it's just let's take the fun characters from the other shows, throw them on a time machine, and send them in wherever
Universe it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna just tangent here. Legends of Tomorrow has one of my favorite storylines of all time, where they go to stop an alien thing that's happening at a school, and they accidentally interrupt the filming of whatever George Lucas is doing for his teenage college movie, and they scare George Lucas out of becoming a director.
Really?
Two of the characters lose their superpowers instantly, because one of them became an adventurer because he saw Indiana Jones, and one of them became an inventor because he liked Star Wars.
That's mad.
So they have to go back in time to convince George Lucas to keep being a filmmaker so they can get their powers back. And it's my favorite story idea a TV show has ever had.
Oh my god, Reaper brought up something in the chat there. Just ask think about Mary Jane and Spider-Man PlayStation game and see what happens. That Mary Jane girl, I swear to god, that Mary Jane girl in that fucking game, she calls at the most ridiculous times. You'd be going into a boss moment, she'd be like, oh hi Peter, do you want me to pick up like the laundry? I was like, why is this bitch on the phone? Get off the phone! Your man's busy. And this is exactly the reason why I hate these relationship shit. It's like the girl calls it the most inconvenient time. Your man's like choking someone out, you know. Oh, do you want me to pick up the kids? They're like, oh my god. That Mary Jane in that game, swear to god, sorry. You just triggered me. She's an idiot. Like, she's an idiot. She shouldn't be there. She knows exactly what he's up to. She's not fucking, you know what I mean? Oh, hi, I'm just gonna call him a kingpin. Like, feck off, right? Get murdered, right? Dumb cow. Anyway, sorry.
More gorillas to talk about?
I don't know
We've
anymore.
a little bit more gorillas to talk about.
Cool. I'm really enjoying the gorilla talk.
Yeah, so at this point we're hitting the 1960s, so we're into the Marvel era.
Oh no.
You know, Marvel are actually relatively calm.
I'm just wondering what way these gorillas are going to be dressed if they are, you know what I mean? Like,
There is
60s.
definitely-
Is it going to be a Madsman feel? Like, we don't know.
There is-
Go on.
The only one that really you want to talk about is a guy called Ken Hale. That's the name of the gorilla. His name is Ken Hale, and he is the Gorilla Man, who has been cursed to
So
be
if you
immortal
shortened
gorilla.
his name, like, just to his initial and his surname, it would be Kale.
Kale the gorilla, yeah. And this character is actually currently, or at least was when I was reading it, in the most recent Avengers run, which is very interesting because you're seeing like Thor and Iron Man and Cap, and yeah, there's a gorilla walking around looking after their base, like, and they're all just like, yes, that's our gorilla.
We go drink with him on Tuesdays. It's great crack. His wife's a
Is
bit
it
of a
the
hassle.
Avengers Mansion
He's a hard
security guard?
drinker.
Yeah.
Is it the
What was that?
Avengers Mansion security guard?
He's one of their, yeah, he works security in, so they live in,
Hold on.
spoiler,
Wait, hold on. Wait, no. Stop the
Yeah.
car. Stop the car.
Yeah.
I'm going to get sick. Hold on. You're telling me, right?
yeah, Yeah.
Okay, just stop for a second. Ado, I know it's emotional. I know you can't contain it. Listen. You're telling me a bunch of superheroes, Iron Man, your man that fucked up fucking Ultron. You're telling me they have a fucking gorilla walking around for security?
yeah.
Does he have any powers?
They're not always there.
Gorilla.
They're not always in the
Ado, I got this. Ado, I got this. Ado,
He's an immortal gorilla.
don't make me come up there, Ado. Stop it, okay? Shh. Okay, he's an immortal gorilla, but is there anything more to him?
Well, he's got the proportionate size and strength of a gorilla.
Okay. So if I was to chop, no, just hypothetical, just humor me here, Aiden, please, just take
Gorillas
it
are
easy.
really strong, like.
Don't,
They're like 5 times stronger.
just
than
give me
you.
2 seconds to ask the question. Right. If I chopped your man's head off, will he still be alive?
Yes.
Why, would he develop another body from the head?
Throw the body back, yeah, I think.
So why isn't he
Oh,
just?
no, right, sorry, no. If you chopped his head off, if I
Yeah.
recall correctly, you would turn into the new Gorilla Man and be immortal until someone killed you.
Oh, Scarlet. Then it's more of a curse. You feel sorry for them. Then. Oh, I see
Yeah.
why Tony
It's
has
like
them.
Highlander.
Oh, I see why Tony has them. Ah, Scarlet.
Yeah. Now he can't kill himself.
He's like,
Tries
I used to
drink
be the
himself to death.
gardener
He's
and
an
I got
alcoholic as
bit.
well, sorry, I
You
forgot.
know? Jesus Christ. I just can't. I can't.
Oh,
They're all living in spoiler. You know the giant eternal corpse from Eternals.
Tiamat?
Sorry, the
Tiamat.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was Tiamat.
yeah.
What, you think I would know it out? That's a different conversation. Go on,
No,
Brian. Go on.
I'm like, well,
Not eternal.
Not so much colour and different, but yeah, it was called Tiamat.
Name
Yeah.
of the race.
Oh, the name of the race.
Oh, the Celestial.
Olympians?
Yeah, the giant
Celestials?
The Avengers are living in a giant celestial corpse in the comic book at the moment, so obviously that's where they're going in the Eternals.
But like nowhere?
No, like the one on Earth, like sticking out of the Earth.
But that's the name of the
The-
other guy
yeah,
that died.
The abortion.
Yeah,
Tiamat. Tiamat is the one that got aboard. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're living in his corpse in the comics.
That's just horrifying. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, it is, with their security guard gorilla.
Oh,
Yeah, and he's like, what kind of stone is this, corpse? You know, like...
Yeah. I really didn't think this particular gorilla
Oh,
would inspire
it's amazing.
Yeah, because this is like pretty much the only Marvel one I'm talking about. Like, there are others. I was watching Hit Monkey. I watched the first episode of Hit Monkey. It was pretty fun. Not actually an ape because it has a tail. It's a monkey, not a gorilla. But you know, I think in the same similar ballpark. You know, and I do know. I don't think I mentioned this, but like the Fantastic Four has this villain called the Red Ghost.
Is he also...
Basically, he's a communist from Russia, a scientist, Reed Richardsy, and he makes his own Fantastic Four with gorillas, like evil ones, to fight the Fantastic Four.
Ah, okay.
Superpowers. Yeah, as you do.
As you would.
There's also Marvel. Apes.
Marvel Apes, yeah.
Do mention this, although
Which
I
is...
haven't
It's
read
on...
it, so.
It's on the screen. Talking about...
So for anyone who doesn't know Marvel Apes, after Marvel Zombies happened, and that was wildly successful,
Got
Marvel
it.
was just like,
Apes.
what if Marvel was monkeys? And that is the entire thing. It's just it's just planet Earth, but everybody's a monkey.
Excuse me.
It's Tree Cities and banana jokes and Spider-Man's a monkey and Hulk's a gorilla or Spider-Man's a chimpanzee, and they're different monkeys depending on who they are, and it's just a bit of a fun read.
All right. Yeah, it looks like a mad cover as well.
I forget
Upsets
the
me.
actual story about it. I've read it, but I just remember this is really fun and monkey based. Lots and lots of puns. If you like puns, oh, Marvel Apes is for you.
Just to tie something back in, I'm just looking at that Wonder Woman cover, and the quote in the front, you're asking, like, what's going on? Why is Wonder Woman playing baseball with an ape? And on the cover, it actually says, the Amazon's most sensational adventure begins when she is chosen to be the teacher of Andy Gorilla, prize pupil. So she's literally teaching him how to play baseball. That's what that
Fucking
comics about.
Captain America and fucking Batman go off and fight crime, and she has to fucking teach a lad how to play baseball.
Yeah.
Off
Christ.
days.
Jesus.
I'm not making any of this up.
Okay.
Right, okay, so we're reaching the end of this epic journey. I was not expecting to be epic. This is where the initial trend of Great Apes in comics ends and self-reference begins.
Right.
So we're at the point now in the 80s where people who read these comics as kids are now writing the books. So they now put in apes as jokes or references. So it's kind of not really the same thing anymore, if you know what I mean.
Not
Yeah,
that they're big
so-
sellers, it's the people who were fans of them when they were big sellers.
Ah,
Exactly. Yeah. So in the 80s, the first comic book villain ever, the Ultra Humanite, has his brain transferred into the body of a white gorilla. So if you don't know who the Ultra Humanite was, originally he was the prototype for Lex Luthor.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was way back. And he is literally the first comic book villain, the first enemy of Superman. Like,
All right.
superpower. Then, yeah. So he is now an ape in a white body.
As you do.
There's King Solomon in Tom Strong, but Tom Strong, again, everything about Tom Strong is a reference to old comic books,
Right.
so doesn't really count if you ask me. Like, because in the same way that the gorilla in Peacemaker doesn't really count, because that's only there because everything in Peacemaker is a reference to a crappy thing in comics, a funny
Yeah.
crappy thing, like and then you've got JL Apes, which I just like that name.
Jail apes.
Didn't even know that existed.
There is a JL Apes as well as Marvel Apes, so if you want more Apes content, you can go out there.
I really don't.
JL Ape, guerrilla warfare. Oh, deadly.
Ado, G. I
Guerrilla
can't. Can't, Ado. I can't.
The apes of Gorilla City have declared open hostility on the rest of the world using technology that can turn humanoids into apes.
I love comics so much. I love comics. So, last lines. Last two lines. I wonder if younger comic book fans wonder what's going on with all the gorillas. Because they have no context. They're just seeing gorillas everywhere.
That's why I could certainly. I was saying in the 1950s, I was in the room. You know what else? Gross. You know, like. You think it's going to be a problem? Kind of like plastic when it was invented. This is a great idea. Now we're really fecked with it.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'd be grand. Just ignore it. Just gorillas everywhere, yo.
Anyway, my answer to this will be it's because they're awesome. That's it.
Yeah,
Gorillas
I
are
think
awesome.
these-
They're cool. Like,
Would you be a
Done, done.
gorilla?
That's it.
Would you? Would you be a gorilla if you could?
probably not because
I would love to befriend a gorilla, but that's dangerous.
Could you imagine Ado having a best friend that's a gorilla? That'd be hilarious. All right,
That would
lads,
be
what's
so
going
scary.
on? This is John. John's out. It'll be fucking cray crack.
I would feel so safe until
Yeah.
he crushed my skull.
Wake up and smash.
So we move on to talking about some of these so-called rumors.
Oh, rumors, you say? More like
So-
crazy ass rumors and theories and.
How long are we to Doctor Strange now? Not that long away.
She's supposed to be pushed until June. Was the gossip now? The rumor. I'm telling you now. I'm getting really upset with her.
the
But
PR.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it, was,
It,
it has to be release because I know it's supposed to be on May 6th was the original. So
Yeah.
according to source, it's supposed to be May 6th. But I'm not sure if that's always going to be what the gossip is. But apparently it's supposed to be May 6th.
I think it's too late for them to delay it now.
Yeah.
Dude, they're going to ruin my birthday. You hear me, Kevin?
When's your
Kevin,
birthday?
my birthday's on the 8th, okay? So we're going for birthdays, okay?
Nice.
I do a birthday week. Well, himself doesn't believe in birthday weeks, but I do. But anyway, I do my birthday week, so every day has to be special. And that day's going to be extra special. I got to make sure everyone knows about it. So don't delay this, Kevin. I can't. Anyway, sorry, let's talk. Let's talk
So-
shop. Go.
Can we put up a big spoiler? Not put literally, but just say to people.
What
we're about to
spoilers?
well, we're going to talk about a lot of rumors about a film that's none of them are confirmed, and it's coming
Yeah,
out soon.
the
Some of them are-
rumors were on
Yeah.
the internet. Well, so and so said if you watch Peacemaker about fish fucking and you believe it, I don't know what to tell you, but spoilers, yes, Brian, you're right.
We'll start with the most obvious rumor, and that's we're probably seeing Charles Xavier.
Well, he was dropping the ball there talking about like he was going in to memes with Kevin and such on Instagram or whatever the hell, you know? Him and his Kevin
But-
memes.
the important thing about the fact that he's there is it implies the existence of an organization called the Illuminati.
Yeah, because there's a big room with like 6 or 7 chairs. And that's
Yeah,
the first
that's
thing
the
I thought.
Illuminati.
And that's just
the
that's just
Illuminati.
Disney. Now in the movie.
So we've got
Okay.
Tony Stark.
No, don't
Professor
believe in
X.
it. Don't believe in it at
Anymore.
all. Okay, you go through your shit and then I'll go through my tin hats. All right, go on.
I would 100% think we're seeing Tom Cruise in this as the Tony Stark of the Illuminati. Namor, Black Bolt,
Reed Richards.
Reed Richards, and
Your ma?
is
No.
Black Panther in it.
Black Panther is
well,
supposedly in it, but I think it's probably going to be like Killmonger being Black Panther. If we're
No,
gonna, if we're going to
I'm
go
just
by
on
the
with
whole what's
I'm just listing the original Illuminati lineup.
Oh, sorry,
Black
yeah.
Panther was a member of the original.
Black
Illuminati.
Panther.
Yes, I
Yeah.
don't think we're seeing all of them.
No,
No.
of course, yeah, I don't think so.
I can't see a world that we're getting the new Black Panther, Reed Richards, and Namor showing up in a Doctor Strange movie. For the
It's
first
too
time.
much, alright.
It's
too much.
way
for one
too
villain, like.
much.
Break the internet in half if you did that.
What I would love to see is, who would it be?
I'd love a Kang Iron Man, like you see Iron Man in the mask.
Iron
No,
Lad?
because of Iron Lad.
Yeah.
The mask disappears and it's actually Kang, like as Iron Man. That would be sick. I'd love that. Not gonna happen. Love that.
Yeah, a Kang could be in it though.
Yeah, there's a chance. It's multiverse stuff.
Let me dish this out to you. And someone on the interwebs was looking at this, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that could be Photon. Could you imagine if she took part in fucking Pegasus, right? Instead of fucking Danvers, right? And she got hit with the Tesseract, and she got all those massive powers.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
like that idea.
You know what I mean? And that would be much more of a twist, because to be honest with you, when you look at the video of it, that is not a man's body. I'm sorry if you think you look that good, guys. You fucking don't. That is a woman's hips.
Gone back to that trailer.
If you rewatch it, it's a woman's hips. Either you have amazing hips as a man, or I'm calling bullshit and everyone else's shit. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it has to be. Like, I was sitting there going, that's first of all, right? And people are thinking that it's Xavier as it comes up. You should tell him the truth. I think, and get this, I don't think anyone's ever fucking talked about this. I think it's the Ancient One. Right? Everyone's assuming.
Where did that come from?
I think it's the Ancient One that comes up, because you only see a shot of a bald person and everybody thinks that the voiceover is going to be so sad. And we all know how those arseholes, Kevin, switch up their fucking voiceovers and switch up trailers all the time, to the point where we're like, okay, well, when I go to see the movie, I didn't see that, but hold on, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, tin hat is on, guys. Tin hat is on.
Well,
Hear
I
it.
do love Patrick Stewart being like, that's not my voice.
Yeah, it was very funny. That was very funny.
Yeah.
It's like, you've the most distinctive voice in the world.
We should tell him the truth. Yeah. So that's my tin hat theory for that. I was like, hands down, it's Photon, and hands down, it's fucking Ancient One. Because he's like that shocked, as in like, how the hell is she back? Like, that's what I was thinking. If we're going to kind of go with the whole what if scenario that they're kind of pulling from.
For more till this one in general.
Yeah, she's
But-
great and everything she's in, so.
I'm putting money on it.
Incredible and everything. She's amazing. Yeah. So what? I think the Tony Stark rumor is a bit
Bollocks.
too prevalent to not be real.
It's too
Yeah, me
bollocks.
too.
It's too good to be true. Everyone's the same way with
It's
Mephisto
not too
and
true.
Nightmare.
I'm
you
so
know?
far. I think if you feel like you have to have Tom Cruise in your thing as a one-off alternate version of Iron Man that's never seen again as part of the
But
best way to do it.
if that's the argument, then should we have a once-off Jake Gyllenhaal Spider-Man? Like, that's...
Yeah, why not?
We could,
Yeah.
we could easily have the same argument, you know, and we already seen him as Quentin Beck working with Spider-Man per se. You never
think
know.
even
I
more
think
sense.
it's a multiverse movie. I think you should do absolutely
like-
nothing should be off the table.
Like, it shouldn't be off the table in that case, you know what I mean? Like, if that's what we're going for, like the original
agree.
people,
I
like.
don't think
but,
anything should be off the
and
table.
then
It's
if
mad.
we're also throwing that in, so let's have a look at the cutscenes and shit for Loki that we're all supposed to know that, like Doctor Strange and everything was supposed to be part of Wanda. And you see a clip of him with obviously being Thor. What if he was to get the hammer of Thor? What if Thor died or some kind of weird universe and he was Thor next? You know what I mean? We get to see that shit.
think that-
Anything's on the table.
I
Peter
think
Ray
we're
Bell could
we're
be in
going to
this.
get the answer to who Ralph Boner is in this.
Oh my god, if the Fox universe is not fucking solved, I swear to Christ.
That's interesting. I totally forgot that.
But it would make sense
We
ways
don't
and...
know.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got this, okay? Tin hat's flying,
We're
okay?
going back to Westview.
We're going back to
Trailer.
Westview.
Yeah.
Yes. So, get this, okay? Imagine
This
this.
is the first movie where you'll have to have a Disney Plus subscription to keep up.
What if, right, because we all know Quicksilver used to do, like, a lot of fucking dodgy shit. He was stealing shit. He was able to go, like, in and out of fucking
Sound like he's-
Honestly, the way you started that sentence, I was like, we all know Quicksilver
Listen.
used to do a lot of drugs.
No. He used to steal shit. I didn't say drugs. He used to steal, like, loads of stuff. And you see that introduction, as you see, like, in, when was it, Days of Future Past, I think it was, where he first introduced him, right? What if everyone was right? What if he is the witness protection person? It makes sense. Like, we didn't see him until, like, we didn't see him until 80s, 90s era of X-Men. You know, there was a lot going on there. Things have changed because there's obviously another branch of the timeline. And we see in a future that Hugh Jackman was in where our darling Jean Grey was still alive, which another person was like, what if Jean Grey and... fucking Scarlet Witch are the same person.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just hit me. Yeah.
Yeah. What if that answers the question of Jean Grey's character, the Phoenix, was the Scarlet Witch in that universe, and maybe Xavier knew what the fuck he was on about because she's class 5. There's not how many other class 5 mutants were there in class, man?
You don't want to go
So,
there.
like-
Omega mutant.
So like that's what I'm saying. So let me throw you a rope so you can come back up with me, Ada, okay? But that's what I'm saying. Just think about it for a moment, guys. It's almost like chaos magic, and she got her powers through what? Cosmic energy. I'm just saying. Come down to the rabbit hole with me.
I'm going to climb out of the rabbit hole.
Don't! It's dark and warm in
I
here.
don't know where to go.
That's why the walls are there. Go on.
I'm going to mention a couple other rumors. Deadpool is the one that I think seems most likely.
Yeah.
Basically because Ryan Reynolds is talking about it constantly.
Would it be kind of like an operation like the TVA as they're bringing people in and out, as he did with Doctor Strange in the trailer? Is that how we probably would see Deadpool?
I think reality's going to... They're either going to be hopping... They are going to be hopping from reality to reality. You don't put America, the character
Chavez,
into anything unless you want people to be hopping through dimensions. That's what she's for. That's her power set is breaking. She kicks a hole into another dimension and you hop over into it. That's what she does.
I feel like Deadpool just hangs on and gets dragged into the MCU.
Yeah, like maybe as they're crashing through different because as you see in the trailer, they're crashing into different universes. Maybe someone gets snagged on, but there was one part of it.
Jumps into it.
Yeah, there was one part of it where it changed into like almost like animation or cartoon. So I'm like wondering what the fuck they're gonna put in there. That'd be interesting to see. Like, there's endless possibilities with that.
Spider-Verse
universe, X-Men universe. You know what I mean?
Actually, seeing as they're doing new episodes of X-Men, that's perfect.
My dream would be, as usual, my dream would be 94 Spider-Man showing up.
That would be interesting.
I love that voice.
That'd be interesting to see.
There's another rumor that you haven't touched on that I read.
Go on.
I don't like. I mean, I've no basis for this, but I've read it 3 or 4 times now in different places.
Go on.
There's going to be a variant Wolverine showing up as well.
Oh yeah.
The existence of the X-Men, like.
Yeah, supposed to be like showing up along with Xavier, like, and there's loads of rumors around it. Like, people are looking at the timeline. Obviously, it's not going to be from like the Logan era of like where Charles Xavier is like getting really old and senile, killing off all the people, the mutants die off, you know. So I'm wondering if it's going to be from like Days of Future Past, because that had a lot of did talk about like the timelines and stuff like that.
I've read this rumor has come along with the it's not Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it's a different actor. It's like a young new Wolverine who may not be back, type of thing.
Really?
Yeah. But also, which means that even if it's Patrick Stewart, it's not necessarily the mid-90s Xavier. It could be like actual real Xavier where he's secretly a bad guy. Nobody realizes it.
Maybe. I'm just wondering if like if it's the case that he is like what the hell was his scanner called? Cerebro? And like has it like amped up to a certain level where he could just detect where shit's going south or tears or wherever the fuck it is. Because it's interesting. Obviously we're gonna have to wait until the movie kicks off, but it's interesting how he gets captured and brought in. Like, how were they aware of it, or like pick up on it.
Xavier.
Yeah, like in that council in that
Xavier's not
room.
captured. Xavier's on one of those seats.
No, not captured. No, as in the capture part of it. I'm just wondering how the
okay.
Illuminati has access to this information. Like, how did
That's
they
because
know?
they're all. It's because every member's a super genius.
Yeah, but that's what I'm wondering, where they're getting their super genius from. Like, is
Yeah.
like the Cerebro picks up mutants? Can it pick up any kind of crack in the universe? Or like, I'm just wondering how it's all gonna play out. I'm really excited.
I'm.
Can't wait for my birthday, guys. Sorry, go on.
I want Reed Richards in something. I think it's about time. I think
Oh my god, if they don't fulfill
Reed
that
Richards
prophecy.
likes so much. He's such a useful utility character for a universe to have.
And you know, it seems like the right time as well, because like how many years ago since
Definitely
the old the one that really went with actually Michael B. Jordan in it, funny enough.
Also, those characters could be in this as well.
Fantastic.
I want to say 2009. Am I wrong?
Oh, it'd be not.
Fant Stick was 2015.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
No,
like 10 years ago.
That's the really bad one. Where I'm on with the Jessica Alba one.
Oh, the Jessica Alba
20
one.
This last Jessica Alba one was 2017. I'm not sure what the first one was.
2015 probably.
Yeah, probably. It's usually 2 years.
Fant
Yeah.
Stick is a film that I have wiped from my memory and will probably never think about again.
It could
It's
you
weird with that one. You can see the director wanted to do a horror film, and then Fox realized what he was doing and took it off him. You can actually see it happening
Oh yeah.
in the film. Like,
It's
You can see an
weird.
interesting. You can see the.
1 year
possibility of an
later, you're like, what the
interesting
fuck is this?
movie go down in the drain.
yeah, it's like, oh, we're doing body horror. No, you're not, Sunshine. Give me that. Like,
Yeah, we're
That's the reason
doing
why we can't have
boring.
We're doing boring and simple, conservative. You're like,
Not even simple, just boring. Oh.
bland.
I've said it, I know Brian will agree. If you mess up Doctor Doom, you're terrible at doing anything.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh.
Can you imagine though, like if they like actually, you know, it'd be very interesting to see a Doctor Doom situation in this as well.
but the thing with Doom is, like, he's like. the way
Because he's
I've heard him
also
described-
he's also part of the whole Kang universe, right?
Yeah, he might be Kang, or Kang
Yeah.
might be a
Him.
descendant of his.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love.
they
I lo-
always
I-
get on. Like,
What
when they're not.
my favorite thing in a comic was someone was like, "Well, it might be this." And this character's existed for 75 years, but still, there's a mite in there.
There's always a maybe.
But the thing with Doom is, like, he shows up in a film. He can help the heroes. He can hinder them. He can be the main villain. He can be a side villain. He can be a street level villain if it's a Doombot. He can
Yeah.
be the main villain. He can
He
be
can
a
be-
good guy.
He can be the guy that beats Galactus.
Yeah.
Good.
He can do. You can do anything.
That's
with
what.
him. He's
That's why I'm
literally-
questioning. Like,
the
like
table,
if
like-
if it's a case that we're gonna have a bit of Reed Richards, like, would we see any kind of feed of Doctor Doom? Like, like there's a whole like pantomime of things that they could do with like Doctor Strange that we're not aware of, obviously, until we see the movie. Like, there's so many things. Even when as he's walking in, you see that big circle with like a person with a sword. Almost feels like that's from the first episode of What's It. You know, Cap Carter going into the fucking portal. You know, the first fucking situation documented. You know what I mean? Like, it's obviously a historical hall of some sort. So almost, yeah. People are like saying it looks like the fucking museum in the UK. I've never been to it, but like, it has that certain kind of like honor kind of place where you walk through and you see all these fucking statues and shit, kind of like Defender Strange that we seen in the trailer. So I'm wondering.
But one of the things I would. Does this end with them going, all these old characters that we kind of might use at some point, we'll just meld them all into one universe, do a DC on it, and make one.
They're probably bringing in all the branch timelines together.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
what they could
so to
do is
speak.
DC did this. DC does every. DC are like, oh, we have a multiverse. This multiverse is wild complicated. We don't have a multiverse. We'll just bring everything into one world. And then it's like, these have gotten kind of boring. Let's make a multiverse again. And multiverse is wild complicated. Let's undo the multiverse and have an Earth Prime again. And I'm just wondering, do they do that? Like,
I don't think what I think
No.
they're doing, which is there's a problem for the MCU now, which is, unlike in the comic books, these actors are aging,
Yes.
and they need a mechanism to go, all right, we're bringing in a new Captain America, a new Iron Man, a new Thor, and we're restarting the Avengers
They-
cycle. They need a way to do that,
Yeah.
which doesn't invalidate everything that's come before, because nerds will go nuts if they do that.
Yeah.
This is a real simple way of allowing that to happen as and when.
But with DC, they don't really have the children
I
or
don't ever
generations,
want-
except for like Superman's fucking timeline, I suppose, with his family and so on. They're getting away with that now, but
I've lost track of the DC reboots. I
Yeah.
try to keep up. Like it's
like how
impossible.
many times do we need to see those pearls fall? Like it's always the conversation.
With DC in general, I just like, oh, I like Green Arrow. I read whatever the latest run of Green Arrow is. I have no idea what's going on in the actual DC universe.
Yeah.
Last I heard, the Watchmen had drained all the joy from the DC universe, which means
the universe lost its smile.
Yeah, the universe lost its smile. Shawn Michaels, yeah. But that's why
Okay.
post crisis,
Yeah.
everything had gotten super grim, dark, and horrible. And it was actually, I think it was, it was Grant Morrison, I think was writing. The way he likes his meta
Gritty.
commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was saying, like, in the real world, elements have forced the DC universe to become joyless, and we're saying in the comic book it's the same kind of force that will bring the Watchmen characters into the DC universe. Because
Okay.
who actually wants that? Only people who are making the money, if you know.
Yeah,
what I
well,
mean.
that's it. Well, they're looking at the same formula that's been built from Kevin. Okay?
Mm.
All the way back in 2008? Even before that, he was doing fucking X-Men and shit. But, like, still, like, he has sat down and built that formula and looked at the timelines and looked at the fucking archives of what Marvel to give. And he knows himself, like, okay, well, if I start up Iron Man, then I know, like, at the end of this certain timeline that we're going to have a Kang and a fucking Fantastic Four all the way down here.
Yeah.
Starting
Here's
from
the
Iron Man.
Problem I have is
You know?
I don't want another Tony Stark or
No.
another.
I just
Or
wanted to
Steve
carry
Rogers.
on with the next generation, with the Young
Yeah, I
Avengers,
really don't want to-
Thunderbolts, all that stuff.
It
Well,
feels like
at some point, this is going to get so complicated that they're going to have to start again.
Mm-hmm.
Realistic, and tastes will change enough.
I
That,
think if that's
Yeah.
any less than 15 years from now, it's a mistake.
Well,
I
the
mean,
thing
I'd
is,
like,
I'm fine with.
What
I
would you
think
like?
30 years. That's the MCU should go 30 years, and
do you think
there's
Kevin's
enough
going to be
young-
doing this all the way into his 80s,
there's enough
90s,
young
millions?
characters. There's enough young characters, and
And I'm selfish.
I genuinely think you can pass down the mantle of characters. The nerds that care are in the loud asshole vocal minority.
Sure, John Favreau's given all he's got, especially in, like, the Spider-Man universe as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, at least we have deadly people on board with that. But again,
Yeah.
DC, like I said, there's nothing there of a next generation or something there that says hand down the mantle, except for, like, only a vast amount of, like, tiny little Batmans or maybe Supermans. But again,
I do think they should work really hard at keeping Chris Hemsworth.
he can't stay young forever or buff forever. I'm
I don't
sorry.
need him to stay young. Old man Thor is.
Oh,
is just as
yeah.
fun.
they can find any reason to make him old Matt Thor. Oh,
Yeah.
he got
Yeah.
trained of his life force
Yeah.
or something.
I think Chris Hemsworth is an all-star. Like, you should try and keep him.
I think
I'm fine.
Loki or Tom Hiddleston's going to hang on to that character as long as he can.
He loves being Loki.
He held seminars with people for 8 hours going through the details of Loki and what makes a Loki a Loki. I was like, what? And it's like, yeah. And like, was it Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan were like, and he goes, and he didn't tell anyone what time it was because he knew we'd come in and join. I was like, they're assholes. But that is also
Yeah.
like, I understand the reason, lads. That's a bit fucking odd. Like, they have to pry Loki from his cold dead hands.
Yeah, as long as you can keep a couple of core people, I
Yeah.
don't see any reason why this has to be rebooted for at least a decade.
Oh yeah, no, I
and I'd
agree.
be happy with, like, if you can get Chris Evans to come back in 10 years' time and do a cameo as Cap, old man Cap.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good thing in a comic. But I agree that, like, even in this is a thing. I will probably do one of my little talks about, like, legacy and stuff like that at some point.
We always love them.
And why people are stupid because they want things to stay the same. That sounds terrible. People don't understand that things always change. We don't own,
you can be honest. It's
yeah,
okay.
We don't own these properties.
Exactly.
Even in terms of being a fandom, we're only caretakers till the next generation get interested.
Mhm.
And and things change over time, and they have to, and it's good, and it's great to introduce new people, right? Where was I going with this?
Generation, legacy.
Legacy, yeah. Right. Things do need to change.
Yeah.
We like ideas need to change. We need new stories. We need new characters.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't do that, it all dies. You get a situation like, I'm trying to think of, like the Spider-Man comics in the 1990s, where they kept on kind of redoing this clone idea. People were like,
everything's a clone.
everything is a clone.
And everything has gorillas rates in it. I know.
Yeah. You need to keep moving on. You need to keep
It's
introducing.
disaster.
And you know what? Some characters will be crap, and we'll forget about them, and that's fine. Other characters are Miss Marvel, who sells gangbusters.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
it's just the way of it.
They have, because like, and what I've been loving with MCU recently is Marvel have a great crop of young characters,
They do.
genuinely, and this comes back to they have been introducing these characters in a really quick succession, like relatively low key in the background of other things.
Let's take a good example. Everybody doesn't talk about Black
Avengers is
Widow,
gonna roll.
and nobody talks about fucking Hawkeye. Yelena's probably like the best funny character that they're
Yeah.
slowly introducing in small ways, right?
Yeah.
And first of all, she's a younger generation. Obviously, she's gonna be in White Widow and all that. But like, this is a fine example of what they're throwing in. And fair enough, your one, what was her name? The new Hawkeye, I suppose.
Yeah,
Kate Bishop. She's a bit too cheesy for me, but she has that spunk, or like she seems to fall into place with it. You know what I mean?
The
I think Young
interaction
Avengers
between those two
will-
characters
Yeah.
is godlike.
Yeah, and that's what you want. I want that. I want that whole like Winter Soldier, fucking like Falcon
You have
situation.
those- you have those two.
That grumpy cop
You have-
partnerships.
You have those who have Patriot.
Yeah.
If you cast Wiccan and Speed well, and you've got a really good movie out of that. Like I genuinely.
But they
think
already
these
have the
characters-
two little
Young
lads
Avengers will
cast
rule.
anyway
Yeah.
for it,
They're-
and then the young Loki as well is cast. I don't know if they're gonna keep like at the end of the day
Yeah, the young
these young
Loki.
fellas can change because we've seen that in like Thor
I
2 with
think
people.
Hulk- I
You know
think-
what I mean?
I think Hulkling might come out of She-Hulk at some point,
Maybe.
Secret Invasion or something.
or
like
Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because you have to look at like Monica
Then
Rambeau.
all we have left is Kang starts it all.
Yeah, and like
Kang
you know,
is obviously already here.
And
He's
he's-
a young guy playing a Kang variant.
or in 2023 it's coming out, isn't it? Something like that. Summer 23 for Quantum Mania. That's when you really see like
Oh, yeah,
Kang
Stature.
as Kang. You know.
Stature. Yeah.
Stature. We genuinely have a great.
Cassie.
Yeah, there's a great list of characters that are like just about to like come into
Do
their
you-
own.
Do you know who I forgot was a founding member of the Young Avengers? I went back and read some recently.
Well,
Vision.
Vision
I did
does
not know
happen.
that.
Vision
But-
is like their when the Avengers like bad Young Avengers stop this. Vision
Yeah,
helps
Vision's
them.
there like, now I'm gonna hang out with those dudes. They're cool. And Viv, his daughter, becomes spoilers.
Yeah, he gives
Oh,
them the
yeah.
Avengers Mansion to hang out in.
Yeah. And later, when he Vision has this thing where he gets mind wiped or he forgets he has feelings, and then he gets them back. It happens all the time to him.
Kind of like in a WandaVision scenario.
Yeah, a la
Yeah.
WandaVision.
Yeah.
Eventually, he kind of disconnects from the Young Avengers, but his daughter, Viv Vision, as she gets referred to, kind of is still there. Although she jumps between. There's 3 or 4 different common groups that you see with young characters now.
Mhm.
But the champions and New Warriors. And,
Yeah.
And Young Avengers are be the most common names. But I kind of almost prefer them to go with the champions than the Young Avengers. I know you're a massive Young Avengers
Yeah,
fan,
I'm a
like, and
massive
you
Young
want
Avengers fan.
you want that exactly that. But I'm quite fond of the champions. I like the young Cyclops and everything showing up in it, and
Yeah.
which is paid off in the recent comics because okay, this is a really complex storyline. At one point, the original 5 X-Men from the 1960s get teleported to 2005, and they're coexisting with their older versions in the X-Men. So you've got 5 teenage X-Men hanging around with the adult X-Men.
Oh God.
Angel, Cyclops, Beast,
Yeah,
Jean Grey,
Jean Grey,
Iceman.
Yeah,
Iceman
and it's at
and
this point that Jean Grey outs Iceman because teenage Jean Grey hasn't been taught like manners with her telepathy, so she's just reading everyone's mind, and she goes, "Oh, Iceman's gay," and just outs him out like.
This is 60s Iceman.
Yes.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's
Kids exit, like, yeah. So that's the whole thing. But,
And for those who too young to understand that, back then you weren't allowed to have anything
I'll do that,
open-minded
Yeah.
no,
in the 60s.
you were
God
sent
is
to-
watching you.
You were sent to be a priest.
Oh yeah, you were sent. Yeah, and everyone had to lie about. Well, that was what happened in Ireland anyway. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
If you
young,
were gay in the 60s now, you're sent to be a priest.
Oh, he sent out to be a priest.
Wonder how that could have any lasting ramifications.
Jesus.
Anyway.
Anyway. Complex.
Yeah,
Go on.
Cyclops becomes one of the champions as a teenager, and eventually they all get sent back to their own time, but they all remember, and this doesn't get mentioned for ages. Then there's been this recent storyline where it's become illegal to be superpowered and underage. Effectively, they ban anyone using their superpowers. If you do, you get chucked in jail, basically. And Cyclops shows up, adult Cyclops, who is now the leader of an entire country in the new comics, shows up and goes, every single person who's a member of the Champions gets to come to Krakoa as a refugee and stay there for life.
Wow.
And if you got a problem with this, and like Cyclops is like, he's a baller basically these days in
Comic
the MCU.
Cyclops is badass.
Yeah, he is, especially
Yeah,
the modern one. Like,
I feel very bad for him in the movies because like we talked about. Was it like the third one, The Last Stand?
So bad.
They killed him off straight off the bat. Nobody arrived. It's like, Jean is like, bah.
yeah.
One of my
Even
favorite things with Cyclops.
He was a bit
is Cyclops
wimpy as
can
well.
use his powers and still be as impactful as a character.
Yeah.
Because he's a figurehead for a society. Which is,
He's the Nightwing in a lot of ways. He's the leader.
Yeah.
although one of my favorite things with Cyclops is when you know, like if he's really pissed off in a fight and he just takes off his glasses.
Oh,
Like,
God.
there you go. Like it's great. Like
It is good.
he just opens his eyes like fully and just decimation in front of him.
And suddenly I'm thinking of The Boys, you know? It's like, straight through him and into another girl. Such a movie. Anyway, go on.
Have we any of the rumors we've heard want to discuss? I'm kind of out of them, I think.
Any
I'm done.
rumors? No other rumors, but apparently a lot of rumors floating around on who the hell the villain's going to be in the new Doctor Strange. Everyone thinks it could be obviously a Wanda. I think it could be like.
Mardo.
I think it's like either the Darkhold taking over Wanda and obviously director, but there's so many different rumors. It's Nightmare. Because, you know, the dreams and he wakes up in the same dream. Scarlet for you.
Is it not? I feel it has to be shit with the door.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Because I would be annoyed if he got like every second full. I love him. Such a good actor. He's
Maybe.
amazing Serenity.
Oh, there was one thing I wanted to talk about with this that I learned since we last talked about this.
Yes.
Remember I was going on about that there's a Shumagora looking monster, but he's not called Shumagora, he's called Gigantos. I found out why. Shumagora is one of these characters from, it's not the Cthulhu mythos, but it was an alternative mythos just before the Cthulhu mythos. So he is like one of the great old ones, basically, because these people were doing an MCU thing at the time where they borrowed each other's ideas and the likes.
Ah, yeah.
But, I believe, I might be wrong on exactly where it is now, but there are rights to this character's name that lie with the estate that also own the Conan stories. Right.
Okay.
So they're probably fine to use the name Shumagora.
Oh, and you do see in the trailers, you do see him falling past like Savage Lands and stuff like that. So stop it! Yeah. Sorry, you're not wrong.
But obviously they don't want to use the name Shumagora because there might be a challenge.
Yeah, that'd be a legal problem.
Yeah. But it is him. It's my boy Shumagora.
Everybody's shouting it, and they're just I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see.
He's such a weird looking character.
He is. I only care about him because he was in Marvel vs. Capcom, and everyone was like, "What the hell is that thing?"
Yeah.
You're like
I'd
the winner.
forgotten you mentioned that, and I went back and was like, "Hey, yeah." I'm terrible at that game.
Yeah, I'm not great either. I did come top 8 in an international tournament at Marvel vs. Capcom 3, almost by accident once. That's a story for a different day. Yeah,
That's
I
about
came
the
top
only
8.
fight. That's about the only fighting game in the world I can imagine that happening with.
Yeah, it was week 1, and I play a lot of fighting games, but if I have a skill at fighting games, it's really exploiting bullshit early. So I'll find all of the real broken stuff really, really quick.
Oh, just play Triple Sentinel.
Yeah, Triple Sentinel, yeah.
Triple Sentinel, yeah.
I find really, really broken stuff that won't carry you long term, but before people have figured out how to really play it, it's real good. And I managed to get top 8 in the first European major for MVC3, and
It's
I did
amazing.
it. Yeah, it's like the people who traveled with me were upset. They trained really, really hard. Many of them got knocked out in brackets.
And you're just strolling in like, hi guys.
Yeah.
What? Spam broken bullshit. Spam broken bullshit.
One thing I discovered was, right, because I'm an experienced fighting game player, Hulk has an armored punch, hard punch, right? It just goes, boom, right? And it causes knockdown. You get a full combo off it. And it's armored, right? So all I had to do was watch the other player and figure out how they like to play. And if they're like, he's going to press a button, I press hard punch. I just soak his punch.
He's going to press a button. Do it. You're
Like,
such a bastard.
The crowd were actually groaning when I was landing this sometimes, because I'm terrible. Like I play Street Fighter, so my type of combos I'm really good with are short but high execution, right? So there'll be lots of one frame links. I can do them fine, but all these long chain combos, not so good at. So I'd be doing like real minimal combos with Hulk, and people are just like, oh. Even the guys with me, and I remember I got through to top 16, and I was planning on going out in the tear that night, and I aced the guy 3-0 in top 16 through to top 8.
Just,
Like,
you went in with one fucking move, and you must have hurt so many fucking feelings. It's not even, that's unfair. I call bollocks. So sorry for those people.
Yeah, the guy who finally bet me in top 8, he bet me 3-2, right? And on my anchor character, my last character that I saved all my super meter and my X Factor for was Chun-Li. And in this game, you could do lightning legs. You know Chun-Li's lightning legs. You could do it in the air, right? And I just having so much fun with this. I managed to catch someone at the top of the screen doing lightning legs and floated down the entire way, just mashing heavy. And I actually went like this. I did the devil's horns on the stage as a one-handed comboing this guy. I got like 95 hits. And just slowly floating the whole way down.
Please say you got booed.
Oh, I got booed. Yeah. There's people groaning and booing.
But my God, I got hammered that night.
Yeah. But after the match, the dude, he bet me eventually. He won 3-2. He had a very strong Captain America team. But he leaned into me and he said something to me that was very insulting that I'm not sure I can get away with saying it on YouTube. So I'll say it to you after if you want.
If you want to know,
under his breath.
let me know by Gilded and I'll tell you there, lad.
Oh, that was a great story.
But
yeah.
Right, let's wrap it up because I know everyone has to look after girlfriends and boyfriends and themselves and such, you know. But let me give you the rundown of what's going on because we're finished with most of the shite that we're watching on telly, right? Everything's done. All your Star Wars, your fucking Peacemakers and everything else in between. But Moon Knight, March 30th is update for that. And then obviously we have Doctor Strange on May 6th. And then after that, you're going to be pleased to know that we're going to have Thor Love and Thunder coming up after that, July 8th. And then Black Panther for November 11th. So I'm not sure what about Kraven the Hunter yet. No update yet. Or nothing
The Batman
so far.
is on March 6th as well, right?
The Batman, I think it's on March.
Batman.
Yeah, it's in March. I've not known so many movies go in March, you know that? Such a weird one.
The pandemic era.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting, you know, because I've been living my life. Yeah, March 4th, so in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, give or take, because it's 28 days. Yeah, actually, I corrected, next week, Friday. So I don't know if it's going to be a case of anyone else, but that's the release dates here in the UK or Europe, if you will, and New York and all that stuff in the US is usually like the 1st of March, so they're going to get a couple of days beforehand, obviously. But the lads over in the South Korea and Taiwan getting March 2nd. Fair play to the lads getting it the fastest. Right. So.
I actually can't believe it's that soon. In my head, I'm like, oh, it's July or something.
Yeah, no, but like they recorded this thing like 2 years ago. Remember, like Robert Pattinson got COVID then. You know, it was a big deal. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So like,
early, yeah.
So
it was early they did all this.
I was going to say, then there's nothing next week. We should do a retro review, and Brian has mentioned one that I really want to watch.
A retro review of what? What year, first of all?
1986.
Okay. Right, okay, 1986. Alright, okay. Is it something to do with fucking gorillas?
Nope.
I think it's something to do with giant robots, is it?
It's 100% to do with giant robots.
Oh, okay, interesting.
The original Transformers movie.
The original Transformers movie!
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down for that. Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited. I love this film.
So, and if anyone else is in the chat and would like to totally join in on the banter talking about the 1986 Transformers movie with us, watch it, join
An
us.
incredibly interesting film to watch. You really
And
should
turn the
check it out.
bass up on your sound system if you're going to listen, if you're going to watch it.
If you have a surround sound system, yeah,
Also,
do.
it's the last Orson Welles performance of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Fun fact, the more you know. Roll
I missed
out.
that.
That's right.
It was Orson Welles' last performance.
Orson
Oh,
Welles.
Yes, that's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't know
He
that.
hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Orson Welles, Judd Winnick. There's lots of Robert Stack.
Robert
Great voice.
Stack.
Eric Idle.
You know, I was
Eric
terrified
Eric
of
Idle rules in that film.
I was terrified of Robert Stack as a child because of fucking Unsolved Mysteries. Himself and
Yeah,
never
yeah.
watched Unsolved Mysteries. He couldn't figure out what I was watching. He was like, "What is that?" I was like, "It's Unsolved Mysteries." Kept watching a little bit longer. It's like, "Oh yeah, what happens?" I was like, "Unsolved Mysteries." Like, yeah. And then it rolls the credits, and he's like, "That it?" I said, "Yeah, it's Unsolved Mysteries." He goes, "Oh, totally tell me what happens." I was like, "What is this?" So that's
Unsolved.
yeah, so that's like, as a child, I was like terrified, but now that I'm living in a modern world, I'm like, I don't know why I was so afraid of Robert Stack. Terrified of this man as a child.
What's that show?
But he was really good. Do you remember him in, I think it was either Airplane or Naked Gun? He showed up in it. And then, where the hell is my fucking coffee? And he had the whole trench coat on. So good. Funny part. I'll have to share it with you guys so you know.
Naked Gun?
Probably Naked Gun, but it was just classic.
Probably.
But yeah, Robert Stack, scary shit. But okay, so we're gonna be watching Transformers 1986. All right then. So I suggest there'll be a quiz.
I can make a quiz about the Transformers. I can.
We
that
can do
very
that. We can do that just to make sure Ada watches it, you know, and you.
I've seen this film multiple times.
Yeah, I watch this film every year.
Do you? And yet, when I asked you to watch Doom Patrol, you're like, oh, maybe.
I have watched the first
No.
episode of Doom Patrol.
The fuck you have? You said it to me. You're like, I watched 20 minutes of it, but like, obviously, I had
went
to come
back-
over here.
I
Look
went
at
back
the
to it
arguments.
already.
You see
You
the
watched the
arguments,
rest of
people?
the episode.
You see the arguments, people? Do you see them? You see them up here
I've seen the
arguing?
Doom Patrol episodes of Titans. There's 2 or 3 of them.
Think.
They're in
right.
Titans.
When we're here,
Oh, God.
Doom Patrol has the worst car crash I've ever seen. Holy shit.
Yes.
That absolutely
Yes.
crushed me.
And don't you
Oh
love
my
Brendan Fraser?
God.
Don't you want to watch
Yeah.
more of him? Yeah, you do. Watch the goddamn
look,
show.
Look,
Don't argue
I've
me.
had a lot-
Watch
I've had a lot
Brian,
of
look at me.
Destiny to play, and
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit if it is part of your destiny to play Destiny. Okay? You make me sit down and watch stuff. I had to watch. I had to watch Blade Tree.
I didn't
She
make
had to
you
put-
watch Blade
she
3.
had
I'm
to
not
put-
responsible.
She had to
I
put headphones
said
in
Blade.
before she can go
I
in and kill people. Do you understand the
I
psychological warfare you made?
Look, I just said Blade 1. You just said to watch all of them. That's like going, we'll watch the Transformers movie, and you're like, I watched all the Michael Bay movies as well.
I'm not watching the original. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm watching the 1986 version. You know why? You know why? Because unlike Ado, I'll actually keep my side of the bargain and Brian.
to watch the first episode.
You had me watch fucking Ryan Reynolds. Do you remember that? Do you remember Ryan Reynolds? Do you remember that? No, don't give me that argument. It's sick of this shit. She had to put in headphones. Headphones before she can go off and kill. She can only kill people with certain type of music on. Give me a break. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
We're done.
we're done. We're done because I've had enough. I've had enough.
So, think, how can people reach you?
By pigeon at this stage, I don't know.
Watching Doom Patrol.
By watching Doom Patrol and actually having a conversation with me.
Okay,
That's how they can reach me.
Reword this. Okay, think.
That's how you can reach me, Ado. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. I'm giving some life lessons on TikTok, so be sure to check it out.
TikToks are very fun.
My TikToks are very. I was trying to hone my craft apparently, so it looks like apparently I had to give people abuse. Yeah, but you'll find me there anyway. Where can we find you, Ado? Try to finish off Doom Patrol.
You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at AODHAIN616, and we were meant to be coming back with Dropcast tomorrow. Paddy has COVID, so we're not going to be doing that. Next Thursday at 9, the big return, episode 100 of Dropcast. You can find us on Republican Players on YouTube. Please come. It's going to be a blast.
It'll be weird, that's it.
I'll be talking about Destiny.
And Brian, where can he find you?
There. Sorry, yeah, my connection is really weak. You can find me at Brian Von Doom on Twitter, where
Me!
Comic book stuff, fighting game stuff, as one live on Twitch, where you will find. Actually, this weekend we will be streaming all of the fighting games. It's one of our very first events back. So you're probably going to be seeing some Dragon Ball Fighter Z and some Tekken 7 if that's your bag.
And probably some Brian using one punch button to get his wins and upset everyone in the room. Oh, you fine, mother truckers.
You won't get past these guys with one button, believe me.
Who are the high tier characters in Tekken now?
In Tekken, Akuma is really, really, really strong, and basically all the Kazamas are supposed to be very strong as well. Who's the old character? He was broken on launch. No,
so we're so Irish, you know that we can't get off the phone. We can't even end the podcast.
I love Tekken. Tekken's my fighting game of choice. I suppose I was interested.
I should introduce you that I know a lot of high level players.
Oh man, I'm terrible. I'm not a good fighting game person.
They don't care. They're it's just their one game that they play competitively. They understand other people might just play for the crack,
Yeah.
Anyway. Right.
Bye,
I'm just gonna fade it out, guys. Good night. I don't know anymore, so that's it. Look. Diddle diddle, like diddle diddle. Yeah, mad gazelles.